Hi, this is Salil Mehta. This is our second short video in our monthly series, and it's available on YouTube at the Salil Statistics handle. Our last video on gun mortality received over 1,000 views. Today's topic is going to be on the 2016 election demographics. And we're going to start by looking at our Statistical Ideas website, which I'll pull up in a second. This is analysis that was brought to me by the editor at the Wall Street Journal. And looking at a couple components of this, the first is what is the demographic split into detailed intersections of categories in terms of race and age of the US voter population last year. And we see that there's a slight bias towards older whites relative to the overall population. I then performed some Bayesian analysis, which would reverse the question, not of these demographics and who they voted for, but for specific candidates like Donald Trump voters, what was the underlying demographics for them. And so these are conditional probabilities. And we see here that there's just a higher blend towards older whites than we see generally in the population. There are some African Americans, you could also see that, although it's a very disproportionately small share of those voters who had voted for Donald Trump. Now, we can also look at stock ownership data, and very similar to what we did before, ask for the Trump voters who own stock, what was the demographic split? And without surprise, the stock ownership in this country tends to go towards whites generally, and so do the Trump voters. And so when you combine these two, you have a very convex and disproportionately higher concentration of the Trump voters who happen to own stock and have benefited from this explosive rally in the last year to be older whites. And for good measure, I show what it is as well for Hillary Clinton voters, and it's much more homogenous. And so the beneficiaries of the stock market rally under the time that's, since Trump's been elected, has been towards a pocket of the older whites who voted for Trump, as well as some minorities, blacks and Hispanics, who also are fortunate enough to own stock. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them here, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.